Ladies, let me tell you something right now. The greatest revenge you will ever have is not anger, not begging, not chasing. It's erasing. When a man thinks he can walk out of your life like you never mattered, the best move you can make is silence. No calls, no texts, no explanations. Just erase him. Because here's the truth, his leaving does not lower your value. His silence does not erase your beauty. His absence does not cancel your worth. That belongs to you. You had it before he showed up, and you'll still have it long after he's gone. See, too many women let a man's decision define them. He stops calling, suddenly you doubt yourself. He ghosts you, and you start questioning your beauty. No, baby. His weakness has nothing to do with your strength. You weren't too much. He simply wasn't enough. And when you finally understand that, something shifts. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. You stop wondering if he saw your story. You stop asking, who is he with now? Because you realize you ain't got time for that. You're too busy working on you. That's when the glow comes back. That's when your walk changes, your smile returns, your light shines again. And let me tell you, nothing makes a man regret faster than seeing the woman he thought he could play shining brighter without him. So erase him, not to punish him, but to free yourself. And trust me, when he realizes he got deleted from the best thing he ever had, he'll come running back. Only this time, baby, you decide if he even gets through the door. The power of silence, ladies, let me break this down for you. Silence is the loudest language you will ever speak in a relationship. See, women think words are what men hear. I'm done with you. Don't call me anymore. You hurt me. But let me tell you the truth, half the time when you talk, a man hears it like background noise. He sits there nodding, acting like he's listening, but in his head, he's thinking about the game, the score, what's for dinner. Men don't process warnings, they process absence. And silence is absence turned all the way up. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop repeating the same arguments, when you stop begging a grown man to act like a man, that's when his mind starts to race. Wait a minute. She's not calling me. She's not checking on me. She's not blowing up my phone. Oh Lord, what's she doing? See, silence creates a mystery, and mystery makes a man uncomfortable. Now let me tell you why silence is powerful. Because it flips the script. He used to be the one deciding when to call, when to text, when to show up. He had the control. But when you go quiet, you shift the control right back in your hands. He doesn't know where you at, who you with, what you thinking. And for the first time, he starts to realize he don't have you on a leash no more. Here's the secret: silence hurts worse than words ever could. Words he can argue with, words he can dismiss. But silence, he can't fight silence. Silence is like a mirror. You force him to sit with his own behavior. He can't deflect, he can't twist it, he can't run from it. That quiet makes him face himself. And let me tell you, ladies, a man's ego hates silence. When you stop calling, his pride gets loud. He starts replaying everything. Did I say something wrong? Did she meet somebody else? Did she stop loving me? And that's when regret creeps in. Not when you're crying, not when you're begging, not when you're cussing him out. Regret comes in when your phone goes dead quiet and he realizes you've erased the sound of your love from his world. I've seen women transform their whole lives just by learning to shut it down. Stop posting about him. Stop subtweeting. Stop crying out loud. Stop making him the center of your pain. When you go silent, you send one message louder than any words ever could. You no longer have access to me. And baby, that access is everything. Let me put it like this. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence is self-respect. Silence says, I don't need to announce my exit. You'll feel it. And trust me, he gon' feel it. He'll feel it when the texts don't come. He'll feel it when the phone don't ring. He'll feel it when the energy that once lifted him suddenly disappears. Ladies, the power of silence is the power of dignity. It's the power of teaching a man that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. And once you master it, once you learn to walk away without a sound, That's when you make him regret ever thinking he could play with you, because nothing haunts a man like the silence of the woman who used to love him loud. Erase him from the routine, ladies. Listen to me real close. One of the biggest reasons a man don't feel regret when he walks away is because even after he's gone, you're still running the same routine like he's still there. You're still answering the phone on the first ring. You're still picking up his late night calls. You're still checking his social media. You're still moving like his presence is the center of your schedule. Let me tell you something. The fastest way to make a man realize what he lost is to erase him from the rhythm of your life. Men are creatures of habit. If he's used to you cooking him a plate every Sunday, calling him every morning, sending those good night texts, then baby, you've built him a comfort zone. And let me tell you what men do in comfort zones. They get lazy. They stop appreciating. They start expecting. And when a man expects instead of values, he starts thinking he can come and go as he pleases because the routine gone, always be there waiting for him. That's why you got to break the pattern. When he calls at 11 p.m. like he always does, don't pick up. Let that phone ring. Let him sit there staring at the screen, realizing he don't run your time anymore. When he slides in with those half-effort texts, don't jump to reply like you used to. Let him wonder why you're not on standby. See, when you interrupt the cycle, you interrupt his sense of control. And don't just change the routine for him. Change it for you. Stop spending your evenings thinking about him. Go to the gym. Pick up a new class. Start meeting new people. Refill your time with purpose. Because the truth is, when you build your life around a man who don't even value your time, you lose yourself in his schedule. But when you erase him from the routine, you rediscover the beauty of your own. Let me tell you what happens next. That man gonna start noticing the shift. Wait, she used to call me every morning. Why is she not calling? She used to check on me. Now she too busy. She used to be available. Now I don't even know where she at. That uncertainty, that confusion, that's what eats at him. Because he thought your routine was permanent when really it was optional. And the moment you cut him out of it, regret kicks in. Ladies, erasing him from your routine is not about pretending. It's not about faking like you moved on. It's about actually moving on. It's about showing yourself first and him second, that you don't need to be stuck in the same cycle that drained you. And here's the beauty of it. Once you change your rhythm, you'll find a new one that don't even involve him. And that's when your power comes back. Because a man can ignore your words, but he can't ignore your absence in his routine. He can pretend he don't care, but when he starts to feel that emptiness in the places you used to fill, trust me, he gonna feel it deep. And the same routine he took for granted will become the void that makes him regret ever thinking you were replaceable. Upgrade your glow, ladies. Let me tell you something right now. The coldest, sharpest, most unforgettable form of revenge is not arguing, not posting subliminals online, not even blocking his number. The ultimate revenge is when you upgrade your glow. I'm talking about when you step out so brand new, so confident, so radiant that he has to blink twice just to believe it's the same woman he thought he could play with. That glow is your silent announcement that life is good without him. See, men expect you to fall apart when they leave. They expect the tears, the late night texts, the depressed posts. They expect you to let yourself go because they're not there anymore. But when you flip the script, when instead of crumbling, you come back looking like the best version of yourself, baby, that regret hits him like a freight train. Because nothing hurts a man's pride more than realizing the woman he underestimated leveled up after he was gone. And let me make this clear, upgrading your glow ain't just about looks. Yes, you might hit the gym, change your hair, get that outfit that makes you walk with extra confidence. But the real glow, that's internal. That's the smile that returns because you're finally free. That's the energy shift when you start sleeping better because you're not stressed. That's the peace that radiates when you realize You never needed him to validate you in the first place. When you invest in yourself, everybody sees it. Your friends notice it, your coworkers notice it, strangers notice it. And trust me, H.E. Gone notice it too. Because men have radar for what they once had. He'll scroll through his feed and see you shining. He'll hear from mutual friends that you're out here living. He'll run into you at the store, and the first thought running through his mind will be, dang, why did I let her go? Let me tell you what glow does. It creates contrast. Contrast between the you he took for granted and the you that came alive without him. That contrast is what breeds regret. Because in his mind, he thought leaving you would weaken you. Instead, it became the reason you got stronger, finer, happier, and more fulfilled. That realization eats at him because now he has to face the fact that he lost the upgraded version of the woman he never fully valued in the first place. And here's the thing about glow, it's not a show. You can't fake it. You can't pretend to glow while you're still crying yourself to sleep every night. Real glow comes from healing, from self-love, from putting yourself first for once. It comes when you stop living in his shadow and step fully into your own light. And once you start glowing from the inside out, there's no hiding it. That energy walks into every room before you do. Ladies, when you upgrade your glow, you don't just make him regret losing you. You remind yourself who you always were. You prove to yourself that you were never broken, just temporarily dimmed. And when that light comes back on brighter than ever, there ain't a man alive who won't wish he could go back in time and do you right. But by then, baby, you're too busy shining to even look back. Stop feeding his ego, ladies. Let me drop a truth bomb on you. Some of these men out here ain't even in love with you. They in love with the attention you give them. That's right. They don't miss you. They miss the fact that you were clapping for them when nobody else was. They don't value you. They value how you made them feel important. And the only reason they still linger in your life is because you keep feeding their ego. See, men are like kids when it comes to ego. You keep giving them candy. They keep showing up at your door. He doesn't have to commit. He doesn't have to act right. He doesn't even have to change, because as long as you're still liking his posts, still answering his calls, still checking on him, still asking how you doing, baby, you're still supplying his ego with free snacks. And let me tell you something. An ego on a full stomach never regrets losing you. If you want a man to feel erased from your life, you have to cut off that ego supply. Stop checking his stories. Stop reacting to his posts. Stop commenting congrats every time he sneezes on social media. Stop being the cheerleader for a man who ain't even showing up to the game for you. Because here's what happens when you go cold turkey on his ego. He panics. He starts to wonder, why ain't she liking my picture? Why she didn't respond to that text? Why she didn't call when I posted something? That silence, that lack of applause, it messes with a man's pride, because men are used to women hanging on, keeping the flame alive, even when they don't deserve it. But when you stop clapping, he suddenly realizes the show is over. Now, let me be real with you. It's not easy, because part of you wants to peek. Part of you wants to check if he's moved on, if he's happy, if he's watching you back. But every time you feed that temptation, you're feeding his ego. And when his ego is full, he has no reason to regret, no reason to return, no reason to change. But when you starve that ego, that's when the tables turn. That's when the regret creeps in. That's when he starts replaying, man, I had her, and I didn't even realize what I had. Because the ego craves attention like lungs crave air. When you cut it off, he can't breathe. And here's the beauty of it. When you stop feeding his ego, you start feeding your own spirit. You reclaim your time. You redirect that energy you used to pour into him back into yourself. And that's when your own confidence grows. That's when your own glow multiplies. That's when you remember, hold up, I was the prize all along. Ladies, hear me loud. Men regret when they realize they're not the star of your story anymore. And the only way they learn that is when you stop playing the supporting role in their life. Take back the applause. Take back the cheers. Take back the energy, because the moment you stop feeding his ego is the moment he starts feeling erased. And nothing drives a man crazier, nothing makes him regret deeper than realizing the woman who once fueled his pride now fuels her own power. Fill the space with purpose. Ladies, let me tell you why so many women struggle to let a man go. It's not always because of love, it's because of space. When he leaves, he don't just leave your house, he leaves a gap in your routine, in your mind, in your heart. That space can feel like silence so loud it hurts. And the mistake too many of you make is trying to fill that space with him again, or worse, with somebody just like him. But the secret, the real game changer, is to fill that space with purpose. See, when you've been giving all your energy to a man, your life starts to revolve around him without you even noticing. You wake up thinking about him. You plan your day around his calls. You measure your happiness by his mood. And when he walks out, it feels like somebody ripped the center out of your life. But here's the truth. That center was never supposed to be him. That center was supposed to be you, your calling, your dreams, your growth. So when he's gone, don't sit around staring at your phone. Don't scroll through old pictures like it's a museum exhibit of what used to be. Instead, pour into yourself. Take that class you've been putting off. Start that side hustle you kept waiting for the right time to launch. Hit the gym. Join a book club. Travel to a place you always said you would. When you fill your schedule with purpose, you don't just distract yourself. You transform yourself. And here's what happens: the busier you get building your own life, the less time you got to mourn somebody who couldn't value it. Your confidence grows because now you're accomplishing things without him. Your energy shifts because now you're waking up excited about wow you, not waiting on him. And let me tell you something, that energy is magnetic. People start to notice the difference. They see the glow. They see the strength. They see the new you stepping forward. And oh, trust me, he gonna notice too, because nothing rattles a man's ego like realizing he's been replaced by your own purpose. He expected you to sit around waiting. He expected you to cry, to beg, to chase. But instead, he sees you booked and busy, unavailable for his nonsense, out here living your best life without him. That's when regret sets in. That's when he starts saying, man, she don't even miss me. She don't even need me. Exactly. But here's the beauty. You're not doing it for him. You're doing it for you. Because your life is bigger than who's texting your phone. Your calling is bigger than who walks in and out of it. And when you start filling that space with things that grow you, you stop shrinking yourself for relationships that don't deserve you. Ladies, listen, purpose is the cure for heartbreak. When your days are full of building, learning, creating, and living, you don't have time to sit in pain. You don't have time to keep checking if he watched your story. You're too busy writing a new story. And that story don't need his name in it. So don't just erase him. Replace the space he left with something that makes you proud of you. Because when you fill the emptiness with purpose, not only do you heal, not only do you glow, but you also remind yourself you were never waiting on him. You were waiting on you. Rewrite the narrative, ladies. Let me tell you something powerful. Your healing begins the moment you stop telling the story like you're the victim and start telling it like you're the victor. Too many of you are stuck because you're replaying the wrong version of the story. He left me. He broke me. He abandoned me. Baby, that's the victim's script. And as long as you read from that script, you keep yourself trapped in his shadow. But when you rewrite the narrative, you take the pen back in your hand and you remind yourself you were the main character the whole time. See, what happened to you was not the end of your story, it was a plot twist. And you get to decide how to interpret it. You can call it rejection, or you can call it redirection. You can call it heartbreak, or you can call it a breakthrough. It all depends on the way you choose to tell it. Because the truth is, he didn't ruin you. He revealed you. He showed you what you won't tolerate anymore. He showed you how strong you can be when you finally have no choice but to stand up for yourself. When you rewrite the narrative, you stop giving him the title role. He's no longer the love of my life who left me. No, he's just a guest appearance, a side character who came to teach a lesson and then exit stage left. The real story is about you. How you found your worth, how you stood back up, how you turned pain into power. And here's the thing about men, they regret not when you're broken, but when you're unbothered. They regret not when you keep saying, it hurt me, but when you start saying, he helped me see I deserve better. Because that flips the script on them. They wanted to be the center of your downfall. Instead, they end up being the reason for your comeback. And that eats at a man's pride. Let me paint you a picture he runs into you months later. He expects to see the same sad face, the same hurt in your eyes, the same broken version of you. But instead, you smiling, you glowing. And when he tries to bring up the past, you shrug like, oh, that was just a chapter. I moved on to the next one. Woo! That right there burns him worse than any revenge you could ever plot. Because nothing says, I erased you, like acting like you were never the headline of my life. Ladies, when you rewrite the narrative, you give yourself permission to heal. You take back your power. You decide that what left you didn't destroy you. It delivered you. And that simple shift changes everything. Your walk changes, your voice changes, your whole energy changes because you're no longer carrying the weight of being done wrong. You're carrying the pride of being built strong. So stop rehearsing the story of pain. Start telling the story of power. Stop introducing yourself as the woman who got left. Start introducing yourself as the woman who got free. Because once you flip that script, once you rewrite that narrative, not only do you heal faster, but you also make him realize the role he thought he played in your life wasn't as big as he imagined. And baby, that kind of realization, that's where regret lives. Never let him back the same way, ladies. Listen to me. This is where most women mess up. After all the tears, all the pain, all the work you put into erasing him, leveling up, glowing, finding your purpose, he comes back. And trust me, 9 times out of 10, he will. But here's the test: you can't let him back the same way he left. Because if you do, he gonna think, oh, she was just bluffing. She was just waiting on me to return. No, baby, that door don't swing the same way twice. See, when a man comes back, he's testing the waters. He's checking if the old routine is still there. He's seeing if he's still got the same access, the same power, the same privilege. And if you hand it right back, you erase all the work you did. But if you stand firm, if you make him meet the new version of you, that's when he knows this ain't no revolving door. This is a whole new house. Never let him back without change. If he wants another chance, it has to be on new terms with new standards, with a new you who don't tolerate the old games. Because regret without change is just manipulation. And you're too powerful to let history repeat itself. So hear me. If he comes back, he better come back different, because you're not the same woman he left. And the price of admission into your life just went way up. Ladies, let me close this out by telling you one truth you can't afford to forget. Your worth was never tied to who stayed or who left. Your value don't shrink just because somebody walked away. A man leaving you doesn't mean you're unlovable. It just means he wasn't ready for the weight of the blessing he had in his hands. And that's not your loss, that's his. You don't have to chase anybody. You don't have to beg anybody. You don't have to sit by the phone waiting for anybody, because the right man, the one who sees you, respects you, and loves you, ain't gonna need convincing. He gonna show up and he gonna stay. But the man who didn't, let him regret, let him sit in silence, let him feel erased. Because while he's replaying his mistakes, you'll be out here rewriting your future. While he's wondering if he's still got a shot, you'll be too busy glowing, too busy building, too busy living the life you were always meant to live. And if he ever tries to come back, don't forget, You don't let him walk back into the same space he walked out of. You're new now. You're stronger now. You're wiser now. That door he once knew don't even exist anymore. So remember this: erase what doesn't serve you, upgrade your glow, fill your life with purpose, and never shrink yourself again. Because when you love yourself enough to let go, that's when you rise. And when you rise, the world gonna notice. He gonna notice too. And trust me, nothing feels better than knowing his regret is loud, but your peace is louder.